This is some of the purest water on Earth. The spring of one of our major river systems.
So right now we are located at the headwaters of the 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗃 system, and we are right at the top of where everything starts. Not too shabby, eh?
Oh, not at all, Angus. We're with Angus Burns, an environmentalist with the World Wildlife Fund in the northern Drakensberg, where he works to get sites like these declared protected.
10% of the surface areas of South Africa that provides more than 50% of our needs. That is our lifeblood.
Securing the country's drinking water is at the heart of Burns's mission, a daunting task around Newcastle in KZN. Coal, the backbone of the economy, but the dirtiest of any mining processes. Many inexperienced yet ambitious mining companies want to cash in, creating a site best appreciated from the air.
They're busy drilling, getting ready for blasting.
They blast twice a week, I hear.
Yeah. I've seen maps of 𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗴𝗆 province, I've seen maps of northern KZN showing cadastres of farms that are under prospecting and mining rights, and virtually zero strategic thinking given to the location of these sites in relation to water source areas and so on.
Where the little black cars coming out now is where the trucks go in. Then about 6 months, that tar road will be a dirt road.
Yeah, the wear and tear of these roads from coal trucks.
Absolutely, yeah.
In recent years, small operators have been popping up across a vast area stretching from Newcastle across the border into Mpumalanga. Many of the permit holders are small businesses without much mining experience.
We're at the foothills of the Drakensberg in Newcastle, and in the valley, coal prospectors plan to carve into the earth. Once they leave, what's going to be left behind? A graveyard of coal mines?
Environmental impact assessments carried out before mining can start often don't fully reflect the complexities and sensitivities of the proposed mining sites. The result? Mines encroaching dangerously close to crucial water sources, like Newcastle's 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 Dam, which provides drinking water to thousands of people.
The war in Ukraine pushed a spike in the coal price, and it ended up with many, many smaller mining houses trying to access the coal market.
Angus says there are currently more than 2,500 new mining permit applications pending nationally.
Small mines come in, they don't have the financial firepower to rehabilitate the damage that they cause. At the end of the day, what is left is a massive legacy for the taxpayer, for municipalities, and a very, very short-term gain for shareholders of these very, very small mining companies.
But as if water quality being threatened by people with little to no mining experience wasn't bad enough, the area's farmers are feeling the pressure too. It's putting food security at risk as mines push ever closer to agricultural land.
There to be mining, but sometimes it's the way in which it infringes in our rights as farmers as well.
Reginald Mabuza owns a commercial farm about 100 kilometers outside Newcastle. He's battling to prevent an adjacent mine from encroaching onto his land.
That, to me, it showed these guys in their eyes, we are nothing, we're just subhumans, because they've got the mining rights, and us, as the landowners, the surface right holders, so we don't have a say. The farm, don't get rockets in the Vakastrom area.
Landowners only have surface rights, meaning the state owns everything beneath the surface, including any minerals.
What supersedes what? Surface rights and the mining rights. Once they've got these mining rights, they just become gods.
It's left Reginald powerless to protect what he's spent a lifetime building.
This is a legacy for my family. When I'm lying 6 feet down, I'll be proud of myself to say, you know, I bought a farm, my own farm. As you know, blacks usually didn't own farms in the past, but fortunately.
A legacy now hanging in the balance as the mine next door bulldozes through the boundaries.
They cut my fence, they built their own gates, They came in, they excavated this area. And this thing happened without my consent. There was no communication between me and the mine.
The mine insisted Reginald's fence was in the wrong place.
What they did here, they came with papers, maps, and then they said, it's not your land, it's our land. You guys have encroached with 300 meters. And then from there, they said, no, I have to get land surveyors at my own cost to come and verify the perimeters. And they went to archives, they drew everything that this parameter has been like this from 1968, October 21. That's when the land surveyor general signed this.
It seems a disregard for landowners by mining applicants is the norm here. 𝗶𝗴𝗶𝗴𝗶 says the problems begin during the prospecting phase.
There absolutely are rights. And that's why there's consultation. That's why there's a process.
The environmental impact of the mines must be assessed and documented. But that's where the lines blur. The consultants who conduct the assessment are paid by the mining companies.
They say in one breath that they're objective. And then when you confront them and you say, well, I object because of these reasons, they turn around and say, well, we're going to push this through anyway.
The government relies on the consultants' reports in deciding whether to grant mining rights. While in Newcastle, we were told a mining company called 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶 intends mining on the border of one of its suburbs, and the locals aren't happy. 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶 hired Singo Consulting, who had to arrange a public meeting.
So based on what you guys have been saying, that you don't want the mine or prospecting happening in your place.
These environmental assessment practitioners from Singo were met by strong opposition when they attempted to hijack a ward council meeting.
Bunch of frauds trying to open a flipping coal mine on our front street.
So hoekom kom hulle nou ons plek toe en nou doen hulle illegal goed?
Who exactly is 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶, they wanted to know, a question Singo ignored.
You know, when you are moving into a sensitive area, you have a right to question the credibility of the company that's running a process.
Like the community, we also had questions about the people behind 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶. And it didn't take us long to find its sole director, 𝗀𝗍𝗍. She and her husband had previously used Singo Consulting in 8 other attempts to get mining rights. 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶 is a typical example of small companies appearing across the coal belt, mostly without any previous mining experience or knowledge of sustainability and rehabilitation. They're really not very complicated questions. We can get through them now quickly on the phone.
I am driving, my dear, and I always prefer to have written communication. I will send you an email.
So don't you then need my email address?
Like I said, I'm driving. Let me try and write it.
Yeah, you don't want to just answer that on the phone quickly. It's just, what's your background in mining?
All consultations were done, Aaron. Can you please wait for my email?
All consultations were done?
Niemand daar was geconsulteer nie en almal was ongelukkig daaroor en laat al die mense, al die boere en goed wat daar geaffekteer sou gewees het, was nie eers by die vergadering nie. Gaan dit regdeur gaan tot op daai plateau daarbo.
Farmer 𝗍𝗏𝗏 van Rooyen, much like 𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗏, feels utterly ignored.
Die oomblik as hulle gaan myn, al is dit nou om die plaas en nie op my plaas nie, dan beteken hierdie plaas niks. Hierdie is 'n familieplaas en is vir my kinders en is vir hulle nageslag.
Mining here will decimate agricultural land.
Grasslands have evolved over thousands of years to be what they are. Once that's damaged, you can, grow some grass, but you can never restore it to what it was. So you lose that biodiversity essentially for the next 300-400 years.
𝗍𝗏𝗏 discovered these markers on his land, indicating that it was being considered for mining. It's in the area where Singo and 𝗧𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗶 are operating.
Die mense wat die klip kom verf het definitief sonder toestemming gekom, so dit is hulle definitief oortree. So as hulle hier ingekom het, is hulle deur die drade geklim of deur om die hek of oor die hek.
𝗀𝗏𝗃 went to the ward meeting to get answers. Why was his land marked without his knowledge? 𝗀𝗃 promised to arrange a proper consultation meeting with affected landowners.
And we hereby do acknowledge that you do not consider this as a public participation meeting.
But 𝗀𝗃's head office told our producer the community didn't give them an opportunity during the ward council meeting, so they saw no point in arranging a formal consultation.
But now that it didn't work out, shouldn't you call now for a participation of the community, or you're not going to do that again?
Can you give me a reason why we should call again? So we met few landowners whom they were willing to engage. Then thereafter, there was a spokesperson for the whole community. Came prepared with his own kind of a presentation, misleading everyone.
Do you know who this guy is?
Who's that guy's name?
His name is Angus Burns, and he works for the World Wildlife Fund.
Yes, but he should be wise enough not to mislead people by giving them false information.
𝗀𝗃 says they'll push for a permit despite concerns about how the mine will affect water security.
Honestly speaking, I'm not interested in this call anymore. At the end of the day, it's the mineral for the department or for the government.
Still, none the wiser, we contacted company CEO Dr. Kenneth 𝗀𝗃, a man facing a criminal charge of fraud for allegedly copying and pasting an environmental management report from a different environmental consultant while pushing for mining rights on the border of the Kruger National Park. After sending him a list of questions, he declined to participate in what he called our narrative. Good day, Dr. 𝗀𝗃. This is Erin Bates phoning from Carte Blanche.
You can write whatever you have, because already, if you see on your email, you already have some information that are not even true. I don't want to comment. I'll wait for the advice from our team.
You cannot comment at this stage, but Dr. 𝗀𝗃, you're busy practicing while you're facing criminal allegations. Despite numerous attempts, we never heard from either Yandisa or Dr. 𝗀𝗃 again. And while the whole world is moving towards greener energy, it seems South Africa is still risking valuable farmland and scarce water resources to benefit a select few.
Our government is pushing that there have to be people of my color coming into the farming space. But if this is happening, then we lose this natural resource. A mine has got a lifespan. After 20 years, the mine will be gone. What is going to happen to this generation that comes here in the farm?